Building the best Premier League 11 right now. Nedham, can you see my jumper?
Yes, I can.
Is it black? Is it white? Is it grey?
Is it like that dress thing?
It's a metaphor for today's podcast.
Oh, right.
Because,
okay.
as ever, I don't know if I've done a good thing or a bad thing with the two podcasts that we're going to do this week, because they are kind of binary decisions and picks, and that's not really our world when we sit down and chat, mate.
No, but it's the discussion around it, though, that people like.
Exactly
that's
right.
the point.
Exactly. So if you're here, get yourself comfy. We're going to go through and make an 11 right now. There will be contradictions, but there will be decisions too.
Emphasize the right now. Keep emphasizing that point. This is right now.
Right now.
This is right now.
So the way I've done in my head, because I'm sure you've had a thought, is that I'm like, if I'm playing a final tomorrow, just so you know.
Well, I don't know if I'm on that, because it's the case of the misfiring striker that scored loads of goals in the past. If you're playing a final tomorrow, you believe that they'll be able to do it again. Sometimes you stick with the person that's got more feel and aura for a moment, as opposed to somebody that's in better form.
Interesting. Okay. Well, we can look. We'll both build our teams, and see how it goes.
For example, just before we go, Adele's right back in the day. If he's been horrendous for 80 minutes, do you take him off?
Absolutely not.
There you go. So I know what your team's going to be.
I might have taken him off at half time though.
Oh yeah, but if you didn't, if he's there in the second half,
away.
Okay.
Right. So goalkeepers, we'll go through the nominees, and then we'll see if we can have a bit of a consensus between the two of us. So, David Raya, Alisson Becker, Donnarumma, Robin Roofs, great start to the season.
Shout out to Roofs.
And Vicario, it's one of those ones where like obviously you hear fan bases all the time, but you're also trying to make your own decision. Vicario was like under a bit of heat a couple of weeks ago. He's made more saves than anyone.
What was going on?
I don't really know. I think it was in the early first 3 or 4 games. People were feeling a bit funny about Vicario. But yeah, he's made so many saves. He's first in the league for post-shot expected goals minus goals allowed. Plus 4.5. 8 saves against Chelsea at the weekend when we recorded this. And has the most passes completed of any goalkeeper.
That's the one that surprised me the most.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised by that, because I did an interview with Thomas Frank a couple of weeks ago, and for it I was watching a good few of the Spurs games, and what was so clear in terms of the difference between Frank and Ange is Thomas Frank for me is very game state kind of oriented, and also like accepting of the opposition or the moment.
Yeah.
So so the Man City away game, the Leeds away game, both of them. Initially, he was playing kind of short, but once they kind of got in the lead and there's 20 minutes to go, it was gone. So Vicario's actually kind of made a lot of saves. But so where are you at with these nominees?
So the David Raya one.
Yes. Can you put him in when he's not actually involved in football games right now?
It's tough because the simplest metric for people to understand is like clean sheets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
go on.
We'll talk about Arsenal's defence as well. So I saw some stats before the last match week. They had the lowest expected goals against by a couple, and also they had the lowest quality of chance against. They had the fewest shots conceded and lowest quality of shot against, which was 0.07 expected goals per shot.
That's crazy.
That's crazy work, isn't it? Yeah.
Do you know the feeling with Arsenal is one where say like Man City, you're going into those games feeling sort of, well, certainly from fans' point of view, feeling somewhat defeated already before you kind of even walk out, because they're just going to pop it and score goals and all those things. It's less the scoring goals with Arsenal. It's just I don't think anyone really believes they can score a goal. Yeah,
which is crazy in itself, because obviously we know that they can. But like even the other day when they go 2-0 up against Burnley, I'm like, what's going to finish like 4, 5 or 6 or whatever? Then it ends up just being 2, and it's a good defensive performance in the second half away from home. But what they remind me of is that old school Chelsea team. I think it was around 20...
The Conte one or the Mourinho one?
I think the Mourinho one, the 2010s one, to where like it's 1-0.
Yeah, 05, 06, that kind of...
I think there was another one.
Okay.
Listen, it's 1-0, go home. Game's done.
Yeah.
And it's not because they're going to like keep 70% of the ball. It's just because the chances you're going to get from them are going to be so few and far between. And they don't really make mistakes. That's the thing. And if they do, it's more so in attack as opposed to in defence.
And it feels like they've got a contingency there. And it's also one where I think they're enjoying it. Some runs become frustrating. I think that kind of run of just keeping them out
Yeah.
is quite. I don't think you're going to tense up with that.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
It's really good, and they've had that good defensive record for a while. Fair play to them. The attacking side of things is what some people thought they need to work on, and the sort of like depth and so on. But they're in a sweet spot right now. They are top of the league, and they're fully deserving of being there.
Yeah,
there's no questions about it. So, but I'm going to skip over Raya though.
Oh, okay. Because if I was narrowing this down, I sort of Robin Roof's as good as he is. Like I say, if you're playing a final tomorrow. It's Raya, Becker or Donnarumma. And I found myself going
really,
away
so you
from
put Vicario
Becker.
in the bin, yeah?
Yeah.
European champion.
Of sorts.
You toxic individual.
I know. Mate, I on a weekly basis, I argue the opposite.
To be fair, Donnarumma's the same as well. I'll take it back. Go on.
So, different types of goalkeeper in terms of Becker, Raya and Donnarumma. Is it between those three? For you? So just say it now. And I might be able to sneak one in there, but I'm struggling to get a Liverpool player in there.
In the whole thing?
Yeah.
So you want to do a pity one now? The goalkeeper is not even keeping.
No.
If we played him tomorrow, he can't even play. He's injured.
Yeah, that's true. So Becker's out then, yeah. You're right.
Becker is out, my friends. So it leaves us with
Donnarumma and Raya, who were my initial kind of two that leapt off the page for me.
I would argue
both good at penalties.
It's a good call. This.
It's tough, isn't it?
So do you want to just deviate and just go Vicario?
Say a name on three. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Donnarumma.
Right, Finn.
We didn't work on that. We did that on purpose.
Finn gets to decide when it's a tie break. David Raya or Donnarumma? From the depths of hell there.
It's a nice pick. It's a nice pick to have. I think Donnarumma's come in and City have been defensively solid.
3 clean sheets, 4 goals conceded. Well, yeah. He's busier as well.
Yeah, he's busy in Raya. Yeah. He's busy in Raya. So he's warmer. You'd be ready for it. Although Raya's pulled off some big saves as well.
Oh, it's one of those ones where I used to do this thing when I say there was 2 things I could have for lunch and I couldn't decide.
You get both.
I would toss a coin and the one that it would allow my gut to go, no, I wanted that one.
Yeah.
And I want Raya.
Do you know what? As a bargaining tool.
You can have one later.
I know Kai said Donnarumma, but as a bargaining tool, I'll let you have Raya.
Finn said Raya. Okay. I'll have Raya. Thank you.
Okay.
Right back. Ripple effect for you here. Chelsea's handling of Reece James will allow him to properly compete in these debates. Finally. You're not having this. When the arguments for best fullback in the league come around, or even the world, the tag Reece James shouts are often met with, but when he's fit. He had hamstring surgery December 2023, only returned for the last few games, 23-24, and has been getting a few cameos at the end of the season. But Enzo Maresca's usage of James has also played a big part in keeping him fit alongside the surgery, using him in midfield and using the fullback in smart ways to limit his intensity of running. With this, Reece James has not suffered... I'm not even going to say that line. Something hasn't happened in 2025 for Reece James. Which, if that thing continues, obviously will see him probably be England starting right back. Tuchel clearly likes him, you would imagine.
I think so.
I think he's the first guy there at the moment, isn't he? Who's ahead of him?
Yeah.
And Tuchel, and he did well with Tuchel as well, I think.
Yeah, Tuchel trusts him. He's won a Champions League.
I don't see anyone jumping him if he's fit and available.
Yeah.
So what's your umbrage with this, Ripple?
My umbrage is with the changing style of play, meaning that somebody doesn't get injured.
Okay.
I'm not on board with that.
You know,
especially just because, is
it less sprints though?
But do we know they're less sprints?
I could look into that.
Exactly. You could definitely look into it. You could definitely see it. But sometimes I think changes in style of play at times are a bit more subtle than people realise. Because say this overlapping thing, I'm thinking about that in my mind in terms of a classic right back, left wing, or right winger style of play. But is that what Chelsea have been?
Well, as you know, you played. I was saying this to Kai earlier. Would you say you played 50% right back, 50% centre back?
More centre back
in those last few years.
I started off
as a right back, when did you? If you close your eyes, when did you sprint the most? Was it in transition?
No, to be honest, sprinting the most was coming back. So transition coming back or transition going forward.
Yeah, I was thinking going back.
Yeah, probably going back. But that's on the assumption of already being quite high. And for the teams that we played for, we never really had good enough possession to where you could commit bodies that forward.
Right.
I think it is a thing to be able to have that high intensity running and so on, but it's not necessarily the reason why everyone gets injured. Because there are plenty of players who do that, who don't get injured in that way. I think if anything, after his surgeries and so on, I think they've probably tried to make him more robust away from the field. That'll help him on the field.
Yeah, there was a thing going out, a rumour sort of out that I'd heard it was about him being a bit too top heavy.
Yeah, again, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. But
did you get injured much?
At the start of my career, yes. Back half my career, not really.
No.
Yeah. It's understanding what your body needs, understanding how you can become available on a week-to-week basis. To be fair, that changed for me at QPR. Shout out to the fitness coach Dan. He came in and he came in from like athletics and stuff, and he talked about how you need to be your own sort of like best friend as such in terms of making yourself available. And he taught the idea that availability is one of your best abilities. So under him, there was one season where I focused on everything before games, after training, everything. I played every minute of every game in the season and did every training session, which was the first time I'd ever done that. Wow. And this was in my late 20s. Do
you have to be available? Do you have to give up on certain elements that you would like to improve?
Not necessarily. No. Not necessarily, no. It's just about understanding the importance of little things that you could do.
Right.
Do you know the people, you look at the ones who are like peak now, like let's put it this way. Ronaldo's played 1,300 games. Is that by fluke or is that because of everything? He's obviously got some good fortune within that. But how much of that is down to him investing in himself?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, totally.
No one's going to be playing 1,300 games going forward, but little things that he does, I think is going to affect lots of people that come after him because professionalism is actually quite cool now, as opposed to back in the day.
Well, he kind of made it cool, didn't he? Yeah, probably more than anyone else.
James Milner played with him. He was really professional when we were like 16, 17, 18, and he looked like a weirdo. And then these days he's still playing in the Premier League and everyone's trying to copy him. So
really amazing. Right, so right backs, we've got a few here. Two kind of, there's an injury conversation within this. So Reece James obviously back, fit, playing well, 6.6 progressive passes per 90 this season. Only Kieran Trippier's got more. Jurgen Timber, a lot of people have been talking about him, and obviously he came back from like a huge injury and has just come in pretty seamlessly.
Top, yeah.
It was interesting when I was looking at all the kind of right backs, there doesn't feel like a lot of scary, exciting fullbacks. And this leads me to Daniel Munoz, not because he's not exciting, but because he's playing. There's a couple of Crystal Palace shouts here that
position you can't get them in, can you?
Unless we say no, I'm putting them in.
But it wouldn't be the same. So Munoz, for example, he's very good at making the runs on the blind side of the opposition. There's a lot of play on the left, then Munoz is going full speed down the right. As opposed to, in my perspective, him having the ball on the right and trying to create 1-2s and so on. Yeah. I think he's good at coming from there. If he was playing right back, he probably wouldn't do it as much.
Well, so that was my question, was that I was watching a video and I heard them say that they were going, well, he's a wing back, he couldn't play for a top team.
Right,
and I was like, hang on.
He definitely could.
So you're right.
You definitely could.
Totally
It'd just be different.
Yeah. But in a dominant team, it'd be used from a more attacking point. The one thing that I would caveat that with is, the thing that I think makes Crystal Palace great is that you've got Mitchell and Munoz and Sarr, and those kind of players are maybe sort of, in terms of their individuality, to like beat a player like an Eze or a Pino, they've not got that. But the stamina and ability and pace to get up and get down and make those deep runs, that's a crazy strength that they all have.
I totally agree. And I think with Munoz as well, he's quite high up for total distance covered and like sprints and stuff in the league. If he was playing right back, it probably wouldn't be like that. And if he was playing right back in a team which had lots more possession, it again wouldn't probably be like that.
I'd like to see him have a go though, because it's like you're saying Roberto Carlos can be a wing back. Like, it's madness.
It's, there's probably more of an argument to talk about right backs that could be wing backs as opposed to wing backs that could be right backs or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I guess like there's a bit more defensive.
Yeah, because you're an attacker. You could put an attacker in at wing back, but you can never really put an attacker in at right back. An example could be like Victor Moses back in the day.
Yeah, or Diallo.
Literally perfectly.
Yeah.
Or I was going to say another player like that, Denzel Dumfries. You know him for all the attacking work that he does.
Yeah.
And the defensive work's fine, but you see more in the attack as opposed to defense.
I mean, I promise I won't talk about it for a long period of time, but we've been talking about Kirk. I've been talking about Kirkes a lot. And a big part of that is like for Bournemouth, it was almost Dumfries-esque.
Yes.
Whereas like this year's got to do other things. So yeah, let us know in the comments how you feel about Daniel Munoz, or Munoz, as Nathan said. I saw it.
Sorry,
my bad. It was levels. But I think those are the three. I am tempted, and I don't want this to go to a tiebreak because Finn will go with.
Right, what do you want? What do you want from your right back?
Can
you describe to me and like the audience what do you mean by a progressive pass?
A progressive passes are can be somewhat misleading because if I just pop it to Rodri as a progressive pass.
So just forward, that's the main thing.
Yeah, but I think in certain areas for certain teams, I guess if you're out wide, progressive pass is probably a bit more impressive in the sense that otherwise you can just pop it back. So to move it forward means you're probably seeing something and playing it quickly.
So I think for this position, like we give credit to Munoz, but we'll talk about James and Timber, and in my mind, defensively they're both as good as each other. I think Reece James is better at attacking from behind the ball. I think Jurgen Timber's better being ahead of the ball. If that makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
Carry on.
So, for example, the way that like football, for me works anyway, and I'm seeing this with my kids now, and I'm just learning so much about it from after I've retired. There are some people who are comfortable when the game is ahead of them, and some where the game being behind them.
Yeah.
And I think Reece James is somebody where, like, if he's deeper with the ball, that suits him.
Yeah.
Whereas I think for Timber, he's very comfortable being higher without the ball being there initially.
I see what you mean. Yeah,
he'll be patient enough to get it at the right time and then go on a link up with somebody else. If you had Jurgen Timber, for example, and we do see it sometimes where he'll come into midfield, I don't think he's dangerous there. We see Timber a bit higher, a bit wider, creating something with like Saka or linking up with. Yeah,
underlapping runs are great as well.
He's way better. Yeah. So, how do you like your fullbacks?
I think it's kind of with these two. Like, if I'm playing a team that I should be beating the group stage, I want to play Reece James. If I'm playing, it's like the sort of Kyle Walker element of like, I feel like Timber maybe be better in that like hardened battle. Reece James is a better player.
Is he?
I think Timber he's a bit of a not slave to, but like, he's like hurt by aesthetics a little bit.
In what
like
sense?
he's a bit like cumbersome.
He's top. You're Timber's top.
I know he's top. No, I'm saying that people won't understand how great he is because they're doing that. Then.
Pick him.
I can't. Reece James kicks the ball better.
So you know, I know exactly where you're coming from, but you're talking about more so like the aesthetically pleasing, like long pass or free kick and stuff like that.
I think if I want to win a final, I'd probably play Timber, just because he will not let you down.
And how about if you need to make up 4 goals and goal difference?
Then it's Reece James.
So what's the scenario for tomorrow in this big game?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I think it's a 50-50 game, so it is a toss of a coin. I think.
How about this? Because we're talking about defenders, and we all know who's got the best defensive record in the league now, let's be very, very wary about picking every player available from said club.
From Arsenal, yeah, absolutely. I think it's so close. I'm going to go, Reece James is my vote.
Yeah, let's do Reece James, but Jurgen Timber could have been in. Could have been,
easy.
Like,
he can go on the
as
bench.
it stands, this is an Arsenal fan TV, so let's crack on.
He can go on the bench, we might need him.
Yeah, and he'll be top as well.
Because Reece James might get injured. Centre-backs. So we're going to pick 2 from Virgil van Dijk, William Saliba, Gabriel, Gvardiol, Christian Romero, Mickey van der Ven, Mark Gay. So Mark Gay is the second one here, where obviously he is left-sided centre-back, but he has been fantastic for them and for England. Obviously, I know that's different when we're doing a team for right now, but we know he can play in a 2. I wanted to ask you about Virgil van Dijk. How do you feel about his form in a team that's struggled?
I thought earlier in the season he looked better. I think the United game and possibly one other that surprised me because I don't think he was as good as say he could have been. Like that United game itself. You know, there's obviously lots of reasons for people being out of form and so on at Liverpool this year.
I think he's annoyed as well, like because he's
sick of it, isn't he?
He's like, I win.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. What
and
are we
he's
doing?
Pissed off.
The one that there's a stat because I get loads of stats from BBC and so on. A stat that really caught me off guard, and I've not got a reference point to this for previous years, but just a general feel thing. He was leading the league in clearances.
This year,
yeah. Virgil van Dijk.
And Liverpool are, as a team, they're top of that list as well.
Which isn't something I would have expected from them.
Because I think they've got the highest possession, maybe.
Yeah, they did. That surprises me a lot.
But is that because teams are kind of going for it a bit more, but also he gobbles them up? Is that not a strength? Do you see that as a strength, or do you see that? What do you see that as?
I think when he's at his best, he's probably gonna.
Because if it's there, you've got to clear it, haven't you? Yeah,
you have. But how many times can it be there for you to have to clear it? It's like the idea.
That's not him, though, is it?
Well, it's like the idea, for example, as the keeper that makes the most saves ends up being a keeper that's down near the bottom of the league, or a team that's got a struggling defence.
Yeah.
So if he's having to make the most clearances, and if he's having to, as opposed to choosing to, if he's having to, then it suggests that maybe Liverpool aren't in a great position.
No, I agree. But does that mean he's playing bad? Or does that mean he's just doing what he's got to do?
It means he's playing in a way which hasn't been the way that he's played for the years gone by, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I think he's played fine, but then I'll be honest. I'm completely trapped in that first goal against United in their game.
Oh,
Liverpool
really?
United. Just because. So firstly, I'm gonna go on record and say, like, some people are saying it shouldn't have been allowed or whatever. Like, I think the language is wrong. I think if the referee sees it, he should stop it. But after he's not stopped it, then it's a goal.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do at that point.
Yeah.
And after the goal went in, nobody was saying you need to stop the game, that somebody's down, or none of the players at least, because they didn't see it. So as a player, if the collective don't see it, how's the referee going to see it? But to add to it, so he goes for the header,
and no one else stopped.
That's my point, because nobody saw it. And that adds to it, because in the instance, I know some people will be so angry about this, but he's gone up for the header and he's like elbowed McAllister or whatever. And Mbeumo's also on the floor.
Yep.
So in front of Van Dijk, you've got Mbeumo and McAllister.
Yeah.
And Mbeumo ends up running behind him to score the goal.
Yeah.
So that's, as I say, that's for as good as he is and one of my favourites ever, that's just sticking in my mind.
Right.
Because there were a few little things as well in that game which just didn't look like him.
That goal, I mean, to not go too far down the road with that one. That one, when I watched it, because I was like, something's up here. And when you see from different angles, Van Dijk's, he never sees Matheus Cunha. He only sees Mbeumo. And he points to Konate to follow the run. He means Mbeumo. Konate sees Matheus Cunha, who was out of it, and he thinks he's talking about, believe he thinks he's talking about Cunha.
Yeah.
So he then leaves Mbeumo, and Van Dijk's then just sort of caught in kind of no man's land.
Yeah, but I think he's not been at his absolute best, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but I don't think Liverpool have been either.
Yeah,
and I think some of the chances which they've given up in this year are very uncharacteristic of them. So I personally don't think I could put him in, because I think he's part of that. Because we can say his clearances and stuff are good, dealing with that stuff's great. But also one of the things that I think he's been good at for all the time he's been in the Premier League is organising those around him to where the opposition do not get a ton of opportunities anymore. So that's a great
point.
Side.
I think that is the one thing that he normally is so wonderful at, and it doesn't feel.
Yeah. People take, again, at Liverpool now in a manner which we haven't seen since probably the pandemic year, where teams are winning at Anfield on a semi-regular basis.
Just to check on Mickey van der Ven and Romero. Like, defensively, Spurs have been good, and Romero actually does go under the radar a little bit. I think he is growing on me, but I don't think he, to not take too long with this one. There's 3 names for me.
Go on.
It's Saliba, Gabriel, and Gay.
Okay.
Am I 3?
Can you separate Saliba and Gabriel to put in a Gay?
Probably not.
Well, you could go for a back 3.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and then Gay's just just bring him on the side, and all of a sudden Reece James playing wing back.
I think it's just like they're so imperious, those two. And do you know what's a great example is the Newcastle game, because they need that goal, and I think finally Arteta realised you can just leave it to those two.
Yeah.
Like, they're so good at seeing it, solving it. If they need to run in behind, they'll go and do that as well. Like, Saliba, no goals from Saliba. Bit poor.
So Mark.
And 2 assists and a goal from Mark Gay this year. But it would be Saliba or Gay would be the last one. Gabriel has to go in for me. Yeah,
that's fair. Gabriel's been like the big guy for them, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think for Arsenal was Saliba and Gabriel. On the weekend after they won at Burnley, there was a question asked to Declan Rice about them, and he literally described them as monsters. And he said the way that they see defending, this is like paraphrasing, essentially is the same way that like attackers see scoring goals. It's everything to them. And that level of they're so calm, but they also have that level of aggression and desperation when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why the shot quality of teams have against them is usually so poor. So I don't think you can separate that partnership, because, as awkward as it may sound for some people listening, in a couple of years' time, if it stays the same, we're talking about one of the best partnerships in the history of the league.
Well, when we were messaging you, I love this idea, and it feels like its own podcast, where we can't really do it now. But like an historical aura 11.
Yeah.
We were talking about, are we talking about historical aura?
Yeah.
And what I thought was interesting about that was that if you put an 11 together, maybe do this next time you're down, if you put an 11 together now of people that might not be, they're not like legends yet, but like if you go, right, that is a team that in 10 years' time, the historical aura of them all is going to be at its peak.
I think
That's a really fun podcast.
I think the shame for Arsenal from my perspective is that, like, say if they go on and win the league this year, people say, well, you got to win it again the year after. You know what I mean? Before they start being respected, because, you know, they want to pile on from that standpoint. But those two, tell me the difference in significance and importance for the team than, say, like Ferdinand and Vidic, for example. Terry and Carvalho. Like, the end result has to be with, no, maybe for you it doesn't have to be winning trophies, but in terms of, like, record and defensive side of things, they're as good as anything we've seen. Yeah,
I agree. So I'm happy. Yeah, we'll go with those two.
Mm-hmm.
Left back, Mark Cucurella, Ricardo Calafiori, Adrian Triffier.
Triffier's done well, isn't he?
First nominee for Bournemouth there.
So did Bournemouth win that deal with Liverpool then?
Win that deal? I think they might have. Yeah, I think they might have. I mean, Kirk is so young. So I sort of loathe to think that it might be more like he was such a wonderful fit at Bournemouth, and they play differently with Triffier. Like Triffier, sort of, they're far more involved in build up. He's not up there. They're sort of trying to get the ball to Semenyo instead, or working through the middle with Alex Scott, who I love. So it's different. He's a bit more. So go check out the podcast we did last week with Tom Jordan, who's got Back of the Net channel, which is Bournemouth, and he was saying that people were describing him as a grown-up Kirkes.
Okay.
So I think the point he's trying to make is like there's a composure to him maybe, whereas like what you liked about Kirkes is that he's hectic, like in a good way.
I think it deserves to give credit to just Bournemouth as well for the general recruiting.
Yeah, mate, crazy.
Because I think for some we're trying to do like a revisionist history as such, saying, how could they possibly survive without Zabani, without Howson, without Kirkes, without this guy and that guy? And you think to yourself, well, when they first signed those players, did we consider them to be these top signings? Or did they like see that they were good players that can fit into how the club was going to play? And then all of a sudden those players are elevated because they found the right place for them. Yeah,
their recruitment is absolutely amazing. How, like, is that an underrated kind of thing that people just kind of go, we all say that comment and then we kind of move on from it? Is it really hard to replace players that do well for you?
I think it depends on the nature of the player and what their sort of outputs are. Because this isn't disrespectful to those Bournemouth players because they're all very, very good. It's like, but they're more some of their parts. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's so we did a video for the Premier League on Bournemouth last week, and that was kind of what we were struggling with for a second is that, often with YouTube videos, ideally if there is a really cool big thing, then you can kind of work towards that as like a bit of a payoff at some point, be it the title or throughout the video. With Bournemouth, we wanted to talk about them, but in terms of the overall changes, yes, there's the lovely contradiction of like you've sold all these guys and brought in these other guys, but in terms of the way they're playing, it's not hugely different.
No.
And so we kind of then had a chat, and I was like, that's like, we're fine. That's fine. You can say that. And so that leads to it being about Iraola.
Yeah.
And him getting that team kind of working in a way that works.
It's interesting as well for him to be a Spanish manager, but to not take huge pride in control of the game through possession. That's very, very different.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the centre back is Diakite.
Yeah.
So he was doing an interview apparently, and he said one of the things he struggled with the most when he first came over was like he'd get the ball at the back and the goalkeeper's free, so he plays it to him. Did it a few times in a row, pulled him to the side, said, "No, we don't do that here.
Yeah, I love it.
We're going to be going forward as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and put teams on the back foot. I'm going to win the ball up as high as possible." Winning the ball up high, that's Spanish, but the directness doesn't feel Spanish to me.
And that was one of the things we kind of got from it as well. I believed it wasn't okay. You might lose the ball, and so obviously you want to be able to kind of win it back as quick as you can. But the thing with Bournemouth, it's more a tempo thing. Yeah. Like it's not like just lump it. It's can we play with pace, and that's why they're really, really fun to watch.
Totally agree.
Kind of got done by City, didn't they, at the weekend? Anyway,
yeah, they did, yeah.
Calafiori just come in, done really well. Obviously keeping Miles Lewis-Skelly out of the team, although Miles Lewis-Skelly, when he comes in, I watched the Atletico Madrid game and he looked pretty awesome there. They're just different. It'll be interesting to see how that carries on with Calafiori, if it can really retain that starting position, because I still think Miles
Why would you take him out? Why would you take Calafiori out?
I just wonder if there might be, I don't know, like I just really like Miles Lewis-Skelly, so I think it's one where like there's competition to be had there. Do you know what I mean? It's not like that it's the end now just because Calafiori's had like a good start to the season.
Yeah, what do you think about gaps then? Is the gap between Timber and Ben White as big or bigger than Calafiori and Lewis-Skelly on that side? If you were to see a change in Arsenal, say somebody was playing, which one would you be more concerned about?
You can see. I don't think we'd be bothered with either, really. I think both like.
So then why is Arteta picking those two for now?
Because they got the shirt. I think they got the shirt, and you're playing well. If you do well, then you carry on.
You think that's how he does it?
Well, I think he's obviously got the Champions League to work with as well. And I think the running from these two is pretty impressive. And also, like, Calafiori's understanding of space. There's so many kind of rotations that go on with that it feels people kind of chuck out chaos there because he is kind of fun in that way. But I think he's smart and happy to go into those spaces as well. And that feels a bit more shocking because, and you think of him as a centre back, whereas Miles Lewis-Skelly, you've still got this feeling of he's a centre midfielder in my mind. Anyway.
Yeah, I see that. That's
so fair. I sort of chucked something out there, but Arsenal fans didn't like it. Where I was thinking, as good as they are defensively, in open play, will Calafiori and Timber get you those goals and those things? But I think, to be fair to the people who didn't enjoy it, I'm probably getting caught up in the trap of they don't look like beautiful Reece James.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And that doesn't mean they're brilliant. So yeah, I'm sort of like not on the fence with Calafiori. I think he's awesome. I just think say he got sent off and he's out for 3 games, Miles Lewis-Skelly comes in and he's brilliant, Arteta might just kind of run with that for a bit and all of a sudden he can't.
No, I can't.
You like him?
I think Lewis-Skelly is obviously like very good and got huge potential, but I feel like Calafiori's like, what you're going to get from Calafiori.
A bit more thrust with him, isn't it?
If you want to say so, man, whatever you're into.
I wish.
But, yeah, I feel like with Calafiori in my mind, he's going to be a 6 or a 7. I think Lewis-Skelly's got potential to be an 8, but could also be a 5, as we saw at times last season, because he's still a young player at the end of the day.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
and it might not be often.
I think it's tight. I do think it's tight. They're just different.
It is tight, yeah.
But he's playing well, really, really well. And then Cucurella, who's just sort of
just does his job really well.
Thing, man. Yeah.
Do you see what I was impressed at the weekend? I think Mohamed Kudus has had the number of quite a lot of fullbacks in his time in the Premier League. Cucurella's not having a bit of it. I feel like whenever there's a winger that's going to be tough to play against, like, he loves it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a good tenacity about him.
But the physical side of it as well, you know what I mean? Like, he's prepared to rumble with anyone.
We'll get to Kudus, but in terms of holding up the ball, I think he's one of the top players for holding the ball up.
Kudus.
Yeah, they use him so much. 100%. He's their target man. All those players like winger, because he doesn't play side on.
Yeah,
he just plays with his back to goal. Like, do you reminds me of Bright Say Samuel?
Yeah, that's a shout.
Bright Say Samuel would do. You guys don't know him, but it's my podcast. So
proper QPR niche podcast now.
But Bright Say Samuel would do this thing where he would have his back to the fullback and he'd put his arms round them and they just couldn't, and he'd just roll them. Yeah, like all the time. He I felt like he twigged that like 2 seasons in.
Do you not find it weird that he's a right back now?
Yeah, I find it weird. Is that a sort of like dribbling quality thing?
Don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's more weird that he was a right back or Adel Taarabt was a defensive midfield for Benfica in the Champions League.
It's all weird.
Yeah.
So 3 solid left backs, all different. Traffair, notable mention, I think, more than anything right now.
Very good start.
Playing a final tomorrow. I think I'm going with...
Say it.
Cucurella?
That's the right answer. I genuinely think that's the right answer. As crazy as that may sound, I think...
Hair tax it is. Do you know, that's making me wobble a bit.
Because Calafiori's got long hair as well.
No, the long hair just makes me nervous. Like, bouncy hair makes me nervous.
Genuine. I think we've spoken about this before
probably
on the podcast. There is something about like people with long curly hair that makes people immediately think that they're like rash.
Erratic. There's too much bouncing about.
Because it was David Luiz.
Yeah.
There was Feist for Leicester.
Yeah.
Cucurella. And I think there might be one more. So people instinctively think...
Valderrama popped into my head, but he was more of a like...
Yeah.
Chilled.
However you see them, whatever you see them doing...
Guendouzi.
Yeah. You'll immediately think this guy is so rash because you see the hair floating about.
Yeah. Do you think part of it's like... Why aren't you because it's sort of, there's like a general aggravation of like, why aren't you cutting your hair?
Yeah, there's loads of stuff like that. the amount of things that people do and like wear which like upset people. Like people get angry at people with like small shin pads. You know what I mean? You've got this like irrational rage towards it. So, you see, it's what you deserve. You just think you are wearing small shin pads. I think Cucurella is the right shout, and I think he's probably playing every week, super consistent.
Gets forward and goes into those little pockets, just like Calafiori does as well.
Yeah. And I think defensively, like, I think in terms of going up against wingers, I'd put him ahead of the other two. That's what I would do. I know Calafiori is brilliant and whatever, but
it's close. I'd like to revisit this.
The fact that it's close is probably a good sign for the league.
Yeah. Right, defensive midfield, and this is what's good about this, is you can kind of see which areas in the league are stacked.
Yeah.
And this...
Are you trying to go for 2 defensive mids or 1 here?
I think it's fluid in a sense. So you got that 8 that can drop in if needed.
Go on then.
Which is why I've kept Declan Rice in that one.
Okay.
So for this, it's more, you kind of 6 first, let's say. Should we call it that?
Yeah, sure.
So Moise Caicedo, Ryan Gravenberch, Martin Zubimendi, Rodri, Sandro Tonali, Adam Wharton, Elliot Anderson, and I'm going to chuck another one in there, Granit Xhaka.
Granit Xhaka, what a time to be alive.
No one's run more.
Yeah. What's his name?
Siddiqui.
Siddiqui. He's not run past him now.
I don't know.
Because that's quite close between the two.
Yeah, it's close between them. You're right. Well, yeah. Thanks for those stats, by the way.
So, no, you're welcome.
I wanted to check out this. Like, who's your top 3? If you had to, that's another podcast. Like, if you just went through them, like, and you had to rank them from like 10 to 1 or whatever it would be, that in itself is really, really, really hard.
So, if you're going to go off general vibes, like based on the weekend, you go Moise Caicedo.
Yeah.
If you're going to go vibes from the start of the season on teams that were on an unbeaten run, you go for Wharton. If you're going to go off like Ascension, because with the Wharton thing...
Ascension?
Well, I'll get into that. With the Wharton thing, like up until, I think, match week 6 or 7, I think he'd create the most big chances in the league.
Who has, sorry?
Adam Wharton had.
Yeah.
Which is like a really strange thing in my mind to compute. You know what I mean? But anyway.
That 2 in midfield is misleading.
Yeah. The other side, talking about Ascension, if you win a 21 Euros in the summer, and then all of a sudden you're starting for England, come September, October, possibly November.
And running it as a solo six. Running it.
Elliot Anderson has won the most possessions. This is up until the Friday just gone. Won the most possessions, won the most duels, and was responsible for the most final third passes as well.
Yeah.
In a struggling team.
And like, in those England games, they just left him to it.
Yeah, he's mustard.
He wins the ball back.
I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming
Didn't see it coming.
I remember, I was first aware of him, I was doing stuff for League of 72, which is EFL channel, and he was at Bristol Rovers, and you were like, oh, he's really good, but he was more like sort of an 8-10 there, because obviously he was like lower level, so he was a bit too good. But yeah, he's kind of like come on leaps and bounds. Right? And you know, for England, he's ahead of Wharton. Isn't he?
But there's something, I don't think the manager likes Wharton.
Really?
Yeah, because he's not even made squads. He didn't make the last squad when he was at his absolute like. I feel like he was
injured
peak.
in one of them, and then
not the last one. I don't think.
So the one before he got injured, I think, and something happened there, and then Anderson got that kind of first opportunity, and then Tuchel kind of, not for want of a better word, he stuck with the same squad. So there was a lot of changes.
He didn't. That's the funny thing about Tuchel, as is the case. It's a tough job. It's a tough job to govern, to pick teams, whatever. But he created you'd say, here's the rule, and then you can see people who immediately broke the rule that he just set. We're going to keep the squad the same, but there were like 3 different people. Like John Stones had come back in, who wasn't in the squad before. Yeah. Says,
was that based on the injuries?
Yeah.
A bit Lewis Skelly there. He kept him in there even though he wasn't playing, didn't he?
Well, yeah, exactly. So some people are playing well, but it's not really about that. I'm just trying to keep this group together. So do we just keep the group together forever then? There's no point in anyone else doing anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Form right now, like, so this is what I mean. It's so stacked, it's crazy. Like, Xhaka's form's insane. I think I keep looking at Zubamendi's name and I love him. But
he's perfect for Arsenal.
In such a packed list, it can't be him for me.
Yeah. I think for me personally, if he didn't play for Arsenal, say this midweek and weekend, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that he doesn't have an impact.
Yeah, I think with this, you're asking, this guy's got to run it for you. When there's competitions like this, I love Ryan Gravenberch. I think he's amazing. The way he's centre midfielders that can just drive past players.
Yeah.
It's so...
But
it's becoming more and more common.
Are you talking about defensive midfielders or are you talking about central midfielders now?
Well, he's defensive, but I mean, he's a 6 though, isn't he?
In this Liverpool team that's given up more chances than at any point in recent years.
Fair point. Okay. Tonali?
Very, very good again, but I wouldn't put him...
A lot of help around him, isn't he?
Yeah, but I wouldn't put... Is he the defensive mid for them?
No, he kind of goes, doesn't he?
In fact,
he kind of uses his engine.
They've got a really good defensive record.
It's flat. It's a flat three.
I think it's not to go against my own argument about like teams conceding goals and all that stuff.
There will be contradictions.
There'll 100% be contradictions. I think Caicedo is probably the one for me because he's getting so many interceptions as well. And for me, he can cover so much ground. I'm not really bothered about his goals as such, but he leads the league in interceptions. And I think if I'm going to have someone that's in that base, that's how I want them to do it.
Yeah. I think, like, Rodri, it's one where it's just,
he's not played enough.
He's not played enough.
No.
Yeah. Like, in the historical Aura 11, it's a different discussion.
It's high up there, yeah.
But also, like, within that conversation, like, I had a look on Twitter, and kind of people were sort of getting their tweets out on Caicedo in the sense of, like, this guy, what is he, 23, 24? Like, he's going to be there. You've seen a succession
thing they've gone for, Chelsea.
yeah. But, like, he could be there. Because that Chelsea squad is only going one way. Like, it's only getting better.
Mm.
And he's right in the middle of it. And he's just so complete.
Yeah.
And so defensively, he's so just smart defensively. Like,
yeah.
And that defending sometimes is it's quite a sensory thing, I think.
Yeah.
And he's got that, but then he's got, like, obviously the zip to get across the field and stuff like that. But then he's so strong in the tackle, and then when he gets the ball, he's good with it as well, and he can drive with it.
He's very, very good. Very good.
I think I would have to go Caicedo right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, this is literally.
Who you put in second? Just so I know. Who's your top? Yeah. Well, top
I think
three
I'd put Anderson, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. But who's to say that Anderson couldn't be playing further up in midfield? I was wondering if you're going to go for 2 defensive mids and a 10.
Well, I'll allow him to be a nominee for centre midfield brackets more number 8 we've got here, because this is a little bit weaker. So we've got Declan Rice, Enzo Fernandez, Alexis McAllister, who I've got him. He's written here, but
that's an oral.
It's a no.
Yeah.
Not because he's not great. He's just having a bad time. And Bruno Guimaraes. I can never say his name right. Hopefully that was close. The obvious one is Declan Rice. The obvious answer is that.
Is it?
I love Bruno so much.
Why is it the obvious answer for Declan Rice?
Just because he's killing it. Like,
what do you mean killing it? Be specific here. What do you mean? Convince me.
He's taking some great corners. He's just.
That's a fair point. I'm laughing, but that is a fair point.
He is unreal.
That is objectively a fair point.
To the sort of final analogy, I think you
just trust him.
I want him.
You're going off Aura now.
I want him.
You're going off Aura now.
Nah, mate, he's been unbelievable for like 4 years.
I know, but you're talking about now. See, this is what I'm saying about Aura.
Do you know what it is with him? Again, it's a bit like the Timber Reece James things. Where, like, okay, he might not get me a goal, but
he's a pass.
We're not going to lose that
midfield.
We're not going to lose that midfield either, and he will contribute.
So we're talking about 2 8s here in this setup. How are you trying to do it?
No, we've got 1 8, and then we've got an attacking midfielder. So just one from that list, please. And Elliot Anderson, you can have if you want to join him in there.
I think Rice is brilliant. I think he's as good as you'll see anyone in Europe and so on. I really do. But is he playing at his absolute peak right now?
I think it's like recency bias is like, he was getting the headlines for the Burnley game, wasn't he? So that's kind of part of it.
Yeah.
But I do I often watch games of Arsenal and I just can't get my eyes off him. It feels like he's
yeah, it's class. It's understandable.
It just feels like he's kind of everywhere.
Do you know what? I'll give it to Rice, but what I'll say, for example, is Enzo Fernandez having the same XG as Victor Gyökeres. Yeah. Enzo Fernandez is having a significant impact in that Chelsea side in a way where he's not a 10, but his influence is big because he's helping the team out that much.
Yeah. Is he running the game, Enzo? Not really.
Well, you say
so that XG's been provided to him by making good runs.
How do you define running the game?
Like just owning the game.
Okay, so for example, if we were to sort of like quantify it, would you say the team that has the most possessions running the game? Of those two?
Yeah.
So if you were to look into that, would you believe that Arsenal have more possession or Chelsea? If just as a general feel?
I would guess Chelsea would have more possessions.
So then, doesn't that mean that technically you might be running the game?
I bet, but like, if you make it about, let's make it about tackles as well. If you're the 8, you're a bit of a complete midfielder, right? So how many tackles is Enzo making?
Elliot Anderson then?
Is that your vote, Elliot Anderson?
No, I'm just saying, like, if
What's your vote?
we're talking about tackles and stuff like that, Elliot Anderson has the most possessions won. He's won the most duels in the league and most final third passes in the league. This was up until Friday, just gone.
I thought the battle here was Declan Rice versus Bruno.
I know, but it's because you moved the goalpost, so all of a sudden someone else is playing.
Okay.
I'm
living in your world.
I am at peace with Declan Rice. I'm at peace with that because I think he's a brilliant player. But there is a little bit of aura sneaking into this now because it means we're disregarding certain people that are doing the same job, but for different teams.
I'm surprised we're not talking about Bruno.
Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah.
I think my issue with them is more so when it comes down to Newcastle, they don't score a ton of goals. They don't have a ton of creativity, whereas I think the other two have probably got more creativity to them.
Yeah, I hear it. So what, we at peace?
I'm going to allow you Declan Rice. Cool. Yes.
One word answer. You got final tomorrow, Enzo or Bruno? G.
I'm going to go for, I don't know if I think he would have played. The World Cup winner, did he play in that?
He did play in it.
Yeah.
And he scored in the group stage.
Yeah. I'll go that way for now. But
yeah, that team had Messi in it. I would go Bruno.
Yeah, all the other years, every 4 years, they had Messi in it and it wasn't working out.
Attacking midfield. Fucking hell. Attacking midfield.
I've got one name here, which I'm very comfortable with. You try and tell me who you think it is. Go through the nominees.
All right. I'll give the nominees first so you guys can play at home. Who is Nedham thinking of? Terrible jingle. So, Bruno Fernandes, Dominic Szoboszlai, Eberechi Eze, Rayan Cherki, Florian Wirtz. Try not to laugh. Having a tough time with it. And put Cole Palmer injured here, but we're not allowing it. So just forget Cole Palmer for now. So those are your nominees. I think we're probably going to go for the same person here.
Go on, then.
Offer different things. I think it's Cherki.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, when we talk aura.
Yeah, we're going off
Slim
right
down now, isn't he, as well?
So man,
Someone's
Manchester
gone easy
man.
on the
Fish and
carbs.
chips on a Friday.
Yeah. I think he had 3
down.
weeks where he barely played.
He was injured. He was injured,
Zero
and as was Marmouche, and I knew we were injured for a little period of time.
Yeah, he's only got 5 games. The rest a lot of them got 10.
And a lot of them aren't starts either. But yeah, I'm not going for him.
Oh, okay.
I'm going someone that's really performing well this season that isn't getting enough credit is Bruno Fernandes.
Yes, I agree with you. He's because he's kind of always kept it together. Missed a few penalties, which means you're going to get sort of bad headlines. But it's a kicker for football,
of course.
I think that's a really good. I think it's a fair shout. I think people like be up in arms if you kind of gave it to him, but I'm not against giving it to him at all because for a team that's up and down, he's always up.
Most chances created up until this last game week was Bruno Fernandes in the league. 24 chances created.
Yeah. And I bet if you look at the last couple of seasons, he's miles in front of most. And
do you know what's crazy as well? For the way that they played, especially in this Nottingham Forest game, the amount of times Fernandes was getting the ball deeper and playing in like a Casemiro. So he's got a sense of, they trust him with the defensive side of things, but they know the creativity comes through him.
I think he's going to be a really good, if he wants to, a really good manager.
Bruno Fernandes?
Yeah.
Why?
I just feel like he interprets...
You're going against what most people would say here.
Oh, really? Well, first of all, I've heard great things about him as a... obviously on the pitch he's like moving his arms, he's moaning a bit on occasion, but I think in the last year you've seen he's a good leader, and I've heard great things about him with the group at Man United in what has been a very, very difficult period where he has both on the pitch and on the pitch has really, really offered something. I just think he's smart. I felt like there were several games last year where that whole team was struggling in that system, but I felt like he understood it.
Yeah, I think because he's football intellect wise, you can see he's very, very high.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And some of the critiques we have from the outside, they aren't necessarily based on what's probably going to be asked of him, and we'd never know that. That's why sometimes it pays to speak to managers to ask about why this player plays and so on. But if you notice, those conversations never happen.
Yeah,
it's always our interpretation of what somebody else is trying to do. But with Bruno Fernandes, like I feel like across the years, people would complain about his arms in the air and all this stuff, saying, "Oh, he's a poor captain," blah blah blah. I'd never really bought into that. But ultimately, a lot of people didn't realise his value until he missed 2 games. And they were horrendous. Oh my God, they were horrendous. Like you thought, wow.
Like, it sounds so obvious, but he just constantly creates.
Yeah, 100%.
Like constantly.
So I think in that 10 position, based on how things have gone so far this season, like he doesn't have as many assists as say other people will do, but also United, as weird as this may sound, I think they've got the second or third most XG going through all the games this season.
Yeah. I'm sort of, I don't know this for fact at all, but the one thing I wonder with that is that they have been chasing games at times.
But you still got to create the chances.
Yeah,
though.
true.
That's the thing, because the teams that will, like what were Spurs doing on the weekend when they were 1-0 down?
Yeah, very little. And actually, goals and assists, he's got 4. Szoboszlai's got less. He's obviously been off a right back and playing everywhere. Eze's got 2 assists, 1 goal. Cherki's have played half the games, 2 assists, 1 goal. So there's he's out in front when it comes to that. Let's go, Bruno.
Big Bruno, man.
Bruno Fernandes,
Shout
why
out to
not?
Bruno.
What a mate.
I don't think this is the last United play for me either, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Interesting you didn't pick like a Cunha or anything like that. Would he have been part of that attacking midfield type thing, or would you put him more as a forward?
I think he could have been. My thing with him is I don't think they pass him the ball enough.
Okay.
That's my view.
Okay.
But probably because I think they're still in the... They still got the muscle memory of get it to Bruno.
Yeah, okay.
Probably.
Okay.
Anyway. So, Bruno Fernandes, congratulations. Made it into that midfield.
Yeah.
Rightly so, earned it. Right wing. Mohamed Salah. 4 goals, 2 assists. Bukayo Saka. 2 goals, 0 assists from 2 less games. Mohamed Kudus. 1 goal, 5 assists. 34 successful take-ons this season, first in this metric. Brian Mbeumo. 4 goals, 1 assist. And Iliman Ndiaye. 4 goals, 1 assist. He's playing on the right this season. He's a right footer who has played on the left previously, but had to make way for Jack Grealish. Where do we start here? Well, I mean, you spoke of a Man United man. You want to wait to talk about him, or do you want to go straight to him?
I'm going to go straight to him.
Let's do it.
I think Mbeumo's been brilliant. I think for the way that they've played and how historically as well we see Man United signings come in and people say, oh, the shirt's too heavy for them, so on and so forth. He feels to be the exact opposite of that.
And I wondered, I'll be honest, going into it I was thinking, that is different.
Maybe it's because he's a little bit older. It's like he's been in the Premier League as like...
He's not that old though. Do you know what it is?
No, as in a little bit older than say some of the other ones. Like
right.
I'm talking more so about striker. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Seshko.
Yeah. No. The ones at Napoli.
Rasmus
Højlund, yeah. Like that's young, that's pressure, that's like almost like a sense of youthful naivety as such. And Mbeumo's, he's not a teenager, but he's played however many years in the Premier League now.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
He's had a lot of games.
Same with like Cunha as well. Like they kind of get it a bit more. And I think for the way that they've tried to play the system, I think he's ended up being perfect for it. Because at times when he can be wide, times where he can be more central.
Yeah.
But times when he's always putting the teams on the back foot. And I love that. I think he's brilliant.
And there's sort of like it's quite useful, I think, for him, is that the pressure is kind of on Seshko. But if you imagine an old school 4-4-2, like, he's the like little man running off the big man. He's the last guy. He's the guy they're trying to create for, really.
Yeah.
But the sort of heat of you need to be scoring, it's probably not on his shoulders in the same way because he's a right winger.
Yeah.
But 4 goals, 1 assist. So yeah, definitely in the running.
I think Ndiaye.
I'd love to see. I'm going to just find his conversion rate.
Yeah.
What his conversion rate is.
Ndiaye's obviously been very, very good as well, with having the same goal record for an Everton side who probably won't score as many goals, say United, when the season's done.
I don't think they've won 1 in 8.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So that's impressive to be doing that from that standpoint. And for Kudus as well, with the 5 assists, like I feel like he started the season absolutely on fire. And he's so tough to play against, as you can see.
Yeah.
But I think for the dynamism from my side of things, that's why I'm thinking in Mbeumo, because I think he's one of them that, like, he's not necessarily going to dribble past people in the same way that, like, Ndiaye could or, say, Saka could and so on. But people feel just uncomfortable because he's prepared to run with and without the ball.
Yeah, and he can come to feet or go, like, and he's ready to kind of run him back.
I think he had one of the fastest top speeds as well from last season and possibly this season as well. So his speed is right up there as well.
The goals to shots on target, 35%. It's good. Oh, sorry, that's shots on target. Goals to shots, 15. That's below. He's in the top 25%. Not outrageous.
What's that compared to the others, though?
So he's in the top 74% for the top 5 leagues.
For right wingers?
Because
I was saying
compared to, attacking midfielders and wingers.
Compared to, like, say, Kudus or Saka.
I could try and compare him with him. It would take me a while, I think.
No, that's no problem, man.
But yeah, I think Kudus he's been more back to goal or out wide.
Yeah.
Whereas Mbeumo is like, it feels, it's not a second striker, but he kind of is.
Yeah, it feels more dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, Saka's brilliant, and he's part of the setup. Like, the ball's out wide, he's taking someone on, things are happening around him.
Yeah.
There's a 1-2, something's potentially going to happen. When you see Mbeumo, it's usually full speed.
Yeah, he's sort of the final destination, isn't
Yeah,
he?
exactly.
Yeah, you're right. So can anyone live with him in this category? Saka, 2 goals.
Saka's output now, no. Impact is probably similar to Mbeumo, but for output, no.
Yeah. Salah, 4 goals, 2 assists.
No, I don't think so.
He's just not playing well, is he, though?
Yeah.
But if it's a final tomorrow, do you want Salah or Saka ahead of Mbeumo?
No, but then that's like historical aura, though. If it's going to be like that, then we'll just go off.
Love this new word.
We'll just go off people.
Was that a word? Was that a phrase before?
We'll just go off like, let's just pick a team of people who've done really well in the last 5 years. You know what I mean?
Kind of go and Jai, you know.
You want to? Tell me the reasons over Mbeumo.
Because I think Njai creates as well, maybe a little bit more.
Really?
Like the goal yesterday against Sunderland. Like, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's very, very good.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know?
And Mbeumo's got to go into a different kind of spot. Like, that's hard. That is really hard. But is it a better
which one do you think plays more as a right winger?
Yeah. I don't really know. They're both kind of different, aren't they? Like, when you think of Mbeumo, you're thinking of a forward, really.
Mm.
And with Njai, you're thinking of a 10, really. Aren't you?
So what do you prefer then? Come on.
I want to go Njai, personally.
Yeah, go on then. I'll give you that.
Amazing.
Give you that, yeah.
Left wing.
This team, when we write it down in a bit,
It's going to be ugly.
It's going to be like, hold on. How did we get
here? yeah. Nah, that's fine. Okay, left wing. The best
Antoine
left
Semenyo.
Yes. Oh, that's your guy?
That's my guy.
Okay, done. Jack Grealish, Gakpo, Doku. Okay, I do have a dispute here.
Go on.
So, I agree with you in the sense of when I'm looking at these names, if I'm playing right back, there's 2 players I just absolutely do not want to play against.
Doku and Semenyo.
Correct.
Yeah.
Grealish, I can kind of like, someone come help me. Gakpo, off you go inside. Like, either way, I'm okay. You're not going to play the Kirkers anyway, so I don't have to worry about that. Semenyo's going to go at me, and he's just got great feet. He's direct. He's stronger than me. Jeremy Doku is just frightening, and Jeremy Doku's going to these horrible. We saw it in the Club World Cup. Like, he's in that. He's going in that more central area. He did it in that first game of the Club World Cup, and I was like, ugh,
yeah,
that is horrible.
Yeah,
like if I'm playing right back, you're there, okay, because it's got to go over there, and we can all come over. When you're like there, and I know that I can't get close to you, and you could turn in straight away, and you could go inside, or you could just roll me and go that side. If I come into this spot, yuck.
Yeah, I agree. The only reason I picked Semenyo is because he scored some goals.
6 goals, 3 assists.
Yeah.
No goals from Doku. It's a good point.
Yeah.
3
Doku,
assists.
like having watched Doku this year, in fact, I picked up on it from the Club World Cup, as you say. Then there's an international break with Belgium where like he was carrying.
Was it against Wales or something?
Yeah, something like that. I was like, this is unbelievable, this performance. So you could see that he's sort of he's turning into something like a better version of himself.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of who would I rather play against, I wouldn't want to play against Doku, but in this instance, I think 6 goals and 3 assists.
Yeah. Fine.
Is an outrageous way to start a season.
Yeah, you're right. Semenyo, congrats. And up front, obviously it's Erling Haaland. But there's the question. This is the real question. So you've got Alexander Isak, 4 appearances, no goals, 1 assist. Hugo Ekitike, 3 goals, 1 assist. João Pedro, which we didn't have put on the list here, but he's kind of had a tricky time after we all thought he was going to like catch fire. Maybe he still will. But Ekitike has obviously started the season pretty damn well. And Voltemado started even more well. 7 appearances, 4 goals. If this kind of situation continues, today, out of those 3, like tomorrow if there's a final, which one of those 3 are you picking? But if it carries on until the end of the season, we're going to be living in a world where Alexander Isak's like stock is so much lower than Ekitike and Voltemada. That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it won't be like that. It won't be like that.
Do you think, when all's said and done, who will have the better career at Liverpool? Isak or Ekitike?
Isak.
Yeah,
what do you think? To be honest, from when I saw Ekitike play in the Premier League for the first time, it did feel like he was a bit like Isak.
Yeah, and I would I would hint that he's got more flair than Isak.
Well, you say that, but insert the
Does
Premier
that
League
matter?
insert the Premier League highlight where Isak gets an assist for someone at the back post at Goodison Park when he runs down the side, dribble past 18,000 people and gets the ball into the box.
Can we get that in?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But
I know what you're saying.
It's funny, isn't it? I find it really interesting, and I think it's why you got to be careful when people just kind of say you're this or you're that.
Yeah.
Like, because you can score as many goals as you score for Newcastle, and you come to this new place and there's a lot going on. I think now you don't feel right.
I think the thing that makes it tougher as well is the fact that Isak, you can see like he's not fit and sharp yet, whereas Ekitike was ready to play. So the gap between the two appears a lot bigger. Yeah. But when you find an Isak that is, and obviously that's down to his own reasons and stuff. But when you find Isak that's going to be more at his best, then it becomes more of a fair comparison. Yeah.
I think he's got the bit between his teeth as well, Ekitike. Like you say, with that pre-season and then starting well, and he's sort of
he's proper though. Like he's that guy.
Got wonderful feet, wonderful touch.
100%.
And Voltemader's done really, really well. But I think he's benefiting from just being the guy, like being that solo guy.
Do you not think he's benefiting as well from Vista not being available?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No competition.
Because what happens when he becomes available? Because it's two totally different profile players. But would they play a 4-4-2? Because on one side, like, are you going to take out Anthony Gordon? Probably not. If you're going to be fair, are you really going to take out Murphy, who gets most of the assists?
Or Elanga, you're going to play one of them.
Well, Elanga's on the bench.
Yeah.
And then you've got Ramsey as well to come in.
Well, and Voltemader's like he knits it really well. I thought it was such a tiny little point that Eddie Howe they sort of asked him about him. First thing he said is he went, tactically he's great. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, he's just like a super clever player. Yeah. Whereas this is a very different kind of player. Yeah, I don't really get the Vissa thing totally. You might play them together.
Vissa Voltemader makes more sense because I think Voltemader's best part of his game is actually linking up the game short. Yeah. Whereas Vissa can be a lot better going in behind. Yeah. But that means they're going to change to 4-4-2. Like, is that something that's going to happen?
Just like a quick one then. On in your view, so again, obviously Erling Haaland, we're picking him. 13 goals, 1 assist, 10 appearances. Do you think that strikers perform better if there's no competition or if there is competition?
Good question.
Because I remember Troy obviously was in that scenario all the time, and he would talk about how just all the strikers kind of hated each other. Because, like, if you're the starting striker, you're going, you two piss off.
Well, in fairness, though, to add to that, like, you've also had a little entry into the mind of Troy. Because sometimes, like, people can create enemies themselves to motivate themselves.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean? So to assume that everybody actually hates each other might not necessarily be the truth. Because in worst case scenario, maybe he hates someone more than they hate them. Yeah. But he treats it as if it's the same.
I also have the view that strikers want to be the guy.
Yeah.
So
they want to score the goals, yeah.
So that with that in mind, if you've got three of them knocking about, I could imagine that occurs. So if there's just a bit more space just to let me do my thing.
I think the opposite to that was last year doing some stuff around Brighton, and they had João Pedro, they had Welbeck, and they had Rutter as well. And they were talking about how the manager was constantly changing and making combinations and stuff. And ultimately for these guys, in the grand scheme of things, are they in competition or is the manager just picking whoever he wants anyway? If it's a real competition where it's head to head, then yes. Because the other side of it is like saying, for example, like the second choice goalkeeper should hate the first choice one because it's competition. Yeah. Sometimes it's not. You know what I mean?
But that's why I was wondering. Like, but I would imagine goalkeepers have a different personality. In my head.
Yeah, but why though?
I just think they do.
Yeah, but why?
I just think they do.
Because that's the thing.
Just through years of like.
No, I think the problem with goalkeepers is like they're not as well studied as like attackers and so on. So we just like there's one sitting on the bench. And we think, oh, they must be happy on the bench. They're not happy on the bench. And they work the whole week in training trying to see if they can get selected.
I think that maybe there's more isolated. There's a general feeling that like the goalkeepers union, they're kind of more isolated with each other. Listen, maybe it's just bubbling a bit.
Everyone wants to play. And I think from the striker's position, it's there's more sense of an ego to it because a game will be won sometimes based on what the striker has done. And I think from a competition standpoint, like with Ekitike, I think Arne Slot is good enough, and Ekitike is good enough to find a way to play alongside Isak.
I agree.
I think there will be a way to do it. I'm not sure exactly what it is because there might have to be other things change elsewhere. But to have those two at your disposal and to not be able to use them side by side, I think is a discredit to the two signers themselves.
To find out that team, check out the JLA YouTube channel. where we've put forward a 4-4-2.
Okay.
And it could happen. It could work. That's your team. That's your podcast. We're going to do one talking about the all-time top 20 Premier League players. And we want to get your thoughts on that. So make sure you follow the podcast so you don't miss it. Do you want people to check you out or not? Normally I do that, I guess.
Please.
Ignore. Yeah.
Online, avoid me. In person, come say hello.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Lovely. Avoid him at all costs. Apart from if he's like on TV, then you can watch that. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. We'll have a break and we're going to go again. Speak soon.